At one time, Kentucky was just another Southern school, a university where basketball was just another sport. But that all changed in 1930 with the arrival of one man. At a meeting to find a replacement for their departing coach, the University of Kentucky and Adolph Frederick Rupp began what became one of the greatest journeys in the history of college basketball. To this day, Coach Rupp's contributions to the game influence programs and fans around the world.
There was no preseason ranking. There were no stars, yet it's a team you'll remember like few others, the 1990-91 Kentucky Wildcats. You can still enjoy this year's unforgettable team by ordering the first ever UK basketball highlights video, Unknown, Unranked to Unforgettable, the 1990-91 Kentucky Wildcats. Mailed $19.95 plus $3 shipping and handling to UK Basketball Video, 904 North Broadway, Lexington, Kentucky 40505.
When people say we can't be competitive, let's prove them wrong. And that's what we're about to do. And it's been a tradition with me to say that we will win, and we will win right away. Whether that means in terms of the losses and the wins and show up in the columns, I'm not sure. I think the Kentucky people and all the supporters of Kentucky basketball, forgetting the score, will leave that arena and say that basketball team's a winner. And that will be the foundation to it all.
For Kentucky fans, that press conference held here in the Patterson office tower announcing Rick Pitino as the head basketball coach of the University of Kentucky was like a ray of sunshine finally breaking through the clouds after a severe storm.
Only a few months before that, Kentucky fans struggled through one of the least enjoyable seasons in anybody's memory. An NCAA investigation hovered over the program for a long time.
The eventual result was suspension from live television for 1 year. And not being able to play in postseason tournament play until the 1991-92 season. The future looked bleak. During this period of time, the coaches and some of Kentucky's most talented players left. But against conventional wisdom, some stayed. Among those were Richie Farmer, Darren Feldhaus, Sean Woods, and John Pelfrey. They believed new athletics director C.M. Newton would bring the program back. He had promised the team he would find the best coach in America. Later he did. He found Rick Pitino.
Even so, probation would keep UK out of postseason tournaments for a long time, yet the four seniors stayed. It takes a special kind of person to endure the hardship of probation, and it's the kind of sacrifice Kentucky fans don't forget. After 3 tough years, the 91-92 season found the Cats eligible for postseason play. As if probation wasn't enough to endear them to the hearts of all Kentuckians, these seniors and their younger teammates went a step further. They added a fantastic chapter to the history of Kentucky basketball, the 1991-92 season. In many ways, this season is a tribute to those four seniors, molded and motivated to the top of their potential by Pitino. Their mission was to make one thing very clear: Kentucky was back in the hunt.
Playing with that bad knee. Oh, what a play! What a play! That's awesome, baby! That's a rolling. 7 seconds to go. Graham dishes to Bailey. Bailey back out to Graham. Three-pointer. Could win it. No! Farmer with the rebound. And Kentucky has won it. Ashburn kick out for Pelfrey. Another three. Yes! Give it all! On the way to the monster mash is magnificent!
Press is on. Pelfrey intercepted. Here's the Feldhaus, wide open for a three. Bullseye!
It's 4. It's 3. Martinez underneath stops it. And that will be it. And Kentucky wins this one 80-54.
Before the season began, the national press expected a lot out of Kentucky. Though barred from postseason play, the Wildcats had ended the previous season with the best mark in the SEC regular season, a 22-6 overall record, and a number 9 ranking in the final AP poll. Now the press had the Cats ranked as high as number 2. Duke held the number 1 spot on most polls. Coach Pitino did not rank the team, but he liked the way these Cats looked.
I think we have the potential to be one of the more entertaining teams that Kentucky fans will ever see. And I think they're exciting. They're fun to watch. They pass. They think pass before shot. They move the ball well. They'll shoot the ball well. They pass it well. And if we can ever have the defense just be anywhere close to the offense, I think we'll be a good, solid team.
After enduring nearly 8 months without Kentucky basketball, Wildcat fans got their long-awaited first taste of the new season at Big Blue Madness. As always, a packed Memorial Coliseum greeted the Cats. Fans got their first chance to see the Cats in a preseason game against Athletes in Action, a team featuring some strong former college and NBA players. The Cats had a rough night, but beat the Vets 82-77. 4 days later, Kentucky faced the usually tough Soviet national team in another preseason matchup. The play was ragged on both sides, but the Soviets basketball team proved to be as fractured as the Soviet Union itself, falling to Kentucky 112-92. At long last, it was time for the games that counted. Kentucky was invited to the preseason National Invitation Tournament with a chance at going to the finals in New York. The Cats' first obstacle was West Virginia.
On the dribble, driving, can't get through, into the paint, out to Pelfrey, goes up for a 3, bullseye.
Paintsville native John Pelfrey scored 26 points, showing the neighboring Mountaineers how things are done in Kentucky's mountains.
Pelfrey comes down, a long 3 is underway, good. And John Pelfrey is shooting the lights out.
Junior Jeff Brasso added 23 points as the Cats hit on 16 of 32 three-point attempts. Missouri transfer Travis Ford, a Madisonville native, dazzled the rough crowd with hints of things to come.
Here they come! Playing with that bad knee. What a play! What a play! That's awesome, baby! Cats are rolling.
Loose ball,
The Cats looked strong. Fans were already making plans for a trip to the Big Apple. Coach Pitino was especially eager to take his team to New York.
I've been to Maysville, and I've been to Paintsville, and I've been to Clay County. And now I have the opportunity to take Fellhouse, Farmer, and Pelfrey to 42nd Street. I am dropping them off in the heart of 42nd Street and telling them to find a hotel.
That team can flat out.
Kentucky hadn't lost at Rupp in 22 games, and the fourth-ranked Cats were expecting an easy time with Pittsburgh. Everybody said so. Dick Vitale said so.
Well, they're really sagging on Mashburn, so he moves along the baseline and puts it in.
Mashburn's going to try a 3 from there, and he's got it.
Jamal Mashburn scored 26 points for Kentucky, but Big Pitt center Darren Morningstar humbled Kentucky inside. An early season weakness was now exposed.
Boy, he's carrying this ball club, this big 6'10" guy.
Here goes McCullough the other way.
And
Blocking on Farmer.
To make matters worse, Kentucky's three-point shooting, so good against West Virginia, was a frustrating failure. They hit only 7 of 36. Pitt whipped Kentucky 85-67. The Cats tumbled from the top 10. Pittsburgh went to New York.
We can stop talking about being top 5 in the country, because we're not. We're going to be a good basketball team when we get better.
I think everybody understands that we're not the number 4 ranked team in the nation, and it's time to go to practice and get better.
More bad news followed the NIT loss. A knee injury suffered in practice would ground Jeff Brasso for the season, adding another challenge to this year's team. Kentucky had 11 days of tough personal reflection and even tougher Pitino practices before meeting Massachusetts at Rupp Arena. There were plenty of connections with Massachusetts. It's Pitino's alma mater, and he had helped select John Calipari as their coach 4 years ago. The Minutemen's head man drew a lot of comparisons to Pitino, at least in wardrobe. Similarities aside, Kentucky was anxious to erase the memory of the Pitt loss.
he held it too long. 5-second count. They did a good job.
After allowing UMass a 17-13 lead, the Cats took control.
Intercepted by Feldhouse. Gives to Farmer, open for a three. Bullseye! They're not giving him any daylight. They're doing a good job, but he handles the ball well. Martinez throws it inside. Here's Mashburn, lays it in.
Jamal Mashburn's 28 points and Richie Farmer's 22 points led the Cats to a 90-69 Rupp Arena victory.
Goes down the lane, lays it in. Mashburn has it taken right out of his hands, blocked by Pelfrey. They got him right. Richie Farmer over the line, passes off to Pelfrey. All the way across court, Brown's open for a three. Got it.
Excellent shooting gave Kentucky the edge.
But by and large tonight, the thing I was most pleased of, we can get our press on because of good shot selection. That was a key. We shot 50%. Anytime we shoot 50% or better, we have a good chance of winning.
3 days later, Coach Pitino took his Kentucky Long Rifles to Indianapolis to try and do what they had not been able to accomplish in 4 years: beat Bobby Knight's Hoosiers. Kentucky fans had the date circled for months, and thousands made the trip to the Hoosier Dome to cheer for the Cats. Indiana jumped out early,
Brown and Mashburn fighting each other for it. Here goes Meeks running, deals it off wide open, overlays it
but
in.
the Cats clawed back.
Ford tries a long three, got it.
Travis Ford's stunning 30-foot jumper pushed Kentucky ahead 20-17.
It up on the dribble. Ford after him. Now they get him in a trap. Strip him of it. And Mashburn goes for the other end. Moves for the basket.
Jamal Mashburn steal and score with 10 minutes remaining in the first half put Kentucky ahead 24-18. Cat fans smell blood.
He's still looking. Finally gets it in, and a battle for it out of bounds. Kentucky ball. Brady really crowding Graham in there. Graham touched it last. Or Travis Ford, rather. To Brady. To Ford. Martinez is under there. Got it. Great fast break that time. And it's 39-36. Kentucky leading. A minute 10 left in this first half. Gives it off to Martinez. Out to Feldhouse. Lets it go for a three. Good.
By halftime, Kentucky led 44-38, but a war was on the horizon.
There's breaking open Feldhouse.
Darren Feldhouse would step forward with one of his best performances of the year. A second senior in as many games answered the call.
Feldhouse
like every Kentucky-Indiana matchup, this would be a great one. The Hoosiers fought back to take the lead with 11 minutes to go. The two teams fought nip and tuck until the final buzzer.
Going in there to Mashburn. He turns, puts it in, and he's fouled. Anderson got
Jamal
him.
Mashburn continued to make his presence felt, scoring 21 points against the fifth-ranked Hoosiers.
Pelfrey putting up an off-balance shot that's good, and he's fouled. He was really off balance, but Chaney got him. Cutting in there is Graham. Graham gets in there. Uh-oh. Mashburn really picked his pocket clean, but I think, no, they're calling somebody else for the foul. Dale Brown is right. Gee, did Mashburn pick that one clean. This is going to really tense it up.
With 5 minutes remaining, Kentucky led by 10. But Indiana made a final charge.
To Anderson. He lets an 18-footer go. Beauty. To Pelfrey in backcourt. Break. Oh, Pelfrey had it picked off. They've been intercepted again by Woods. Laid it in. Big play by Sean Woods.
With 49 seconds left, Kentucky led by only 2 points. Needing to run out the clock, the Cats instead lost the ball under the basket.
Woods, a very ill-advised pass, and it's a jump ball.
The jump ball gave Indiana control.
With 20 seconds to go, that was they should have kept it out on the perimeter.
Pitino signaled a timeout, leaving a victory over Indiana hanging loosely in the balance. The Cats desperately wanted to leave Indiana with a win and erase the memory of the 2 previous seasons, losing heartbreaking games by less than 3 points. Kentucky's hard-fought effort would mean nothing if Pitino and Kentucky could not defend Knight and the Hoosiers for 20 more seconds. After the inbounds, Greg Graham's three-point attempt drew iron. Richie Farmer grabbed the ball as the buzzer sounded, and Kentucky had done it.
Big rebound by Richie Farmer. Kentucky's won it. The Cats won it 76-74, and Richie Farmer, 6 feet tall, maybe.
Bobby took it well.
Rebounder. He got fouled, but the game had
The
ended.
Kentucky seniors, after all, would graduate with an Indiana victory on their resume.
Very happy Kentucky celebrating. It's Rick Pitino's first win over the Indiana Hoosiers.
You know, it's one of the best feelings I ever had in my life. We worked hard, and ever since I've been here, I know the last 2 years we've gotten beaten 2 points and 3 points. We won by 2 this year. Being a senior year, couldn't be any better.
It's a great deal to come home and get that victory, knowing that my mom and dad can go to work on Monday morning, you know, and tell all those Indiana fans, hey, that my son came down here and beat y'all.
That means a lot. This is a huge win. I think this is one of the best ones that this class has enjoyed since we've been here, and especially get a quality win like this early in the season, it means a lot because Indiana is going to be one of the best teams in America for the rest of the season.
The victory was especially sweet for Sean Woods, an Indianapolis native. Woods was perhaps the most underrated player for the 91-92 Cats. His thorny, sticky defense did not make headlines, but served to wear down opponents, leveling their offensive drive. The contribution was never lost on Pitino.
He's more of an athlete who can get in your face for 94 feet and you're not going to lose him. He has great quickness. He can go by people. He has an excellent bank shot in the lane. He's a different type of point guard than any I've coached, but he creates a lot of problems for people in matching up with him and trying to stop him from penetrating, and also in the type of defensive pressure that he can give you full court.
Pitino had redirected the 6'2 guard's offensive effort, telling him to concentrate not on scoring himself, but on helping the other players score by dishing out assists. The advice made a big difference. Woods would leave Kentucky high on the list of Kentucky's all-time assist leaders. Make no mistake, Sean Woods could score, but he saved those fireworks for late in the season. Kentucky returned home from Indianapolis to play Southwest Texas State. It was a Kentucky landslide that saw some impressive offense from Travis Ford.
Up for the ball, out of 4. It's 3-on-2. Let's see what he can do. The magician. What a pass!
Kentucky's biggest, and here's a steal by Riddick. And backcourt gives to Toomer, back to Riddick. He goes up, lays it in.
Andre Riddick took advantage of an opportunity to sparkle, and freshman Chris Harrison saw his first points as a Wildcat.
Gives it up to Harrison wide open, and he lays it in.
Kentucky demolished Southwest Texas 82-36. The Wildcats had climbed back into the top 10 and now met Morehead State on neutral ground at Louisville's Freedom Hall. The River City loves to host the Cats, and Morehead's colorful coach, Dick Fick, promised to make a night of it. The Eagles had a powerful weapon and OVC Player of the Year, Brett Roberts.
3.
Early in the second half, Kentucky led by 19 before Morehead closed the gap to 10 with 10:40 remaining.
House bounces off the Tubbs, and Travis Ford shot out of nowhere to intercept it. Runs it over, still moving, whips it off. Brady wide open right corner for a 3, yes. Over the line, still moving, down the lane he goes, puts it up, got it. Drives the baseline, goes off to Mashburn open, he stuffs this one, and it stays.
I mean, just like that, Kentucky's back out 78-64. Good hustle by Martinez, both ends of the floor. Roberts is out of the game. Now Peace goes in the air, and so does Dick Fick. A whirlwind finish of this Anderson 75. Blocked by Riddick, his second block of the night.
The Cats hate to lose in Louisville and proved it by marching out to the 100-point mark, fending off its talented OVC foe, and claiming victory over their first in-state opponent.
Martinez throws. Mashburn, they got the 100, 101. The governor and his first...
Brereton and Libby Jones, Kentucky's new governor and first lady, greeted the Cats home for a duel with Arizona State. The Cats made easy work of the Sun Devils. Junior Dale Brown landed 24 points.
Faulkner has it knocked away by Dale Brown, picked up by Farmer. Here goes Brown wide open and stuffed it.
Kentucky cruised the rest of the way for a 94-68 victory. A record crowd filled Atlanta's Omni when Kentucky met Georgia Tech in the Kuppenheimer Classic.
When he's open for a 3, got it. Miss for a 3, he's got it.
It was a wild ride for both teams. Kentucky led most of the first half, thanks again to strong play by Dale Brown. Tech rallied and left the court with a 38-38 tie at halftime.
Pass, and here's a foot race. Barry's got it, goes under. It is good, and he's fouled by Riddick.
The second half would be less conventional. Tech's Malcolm Mackey and John Barry led a blistering 29-7 scoring drive.
Pitino way out of the coaching box. Way out of the coaching box. He's at half court. He could get a tee. He just did. He got another one. He got 2 technicals. And if so, he could be gone.
With 14:24 left in the game, Coach Rick Pitino, angry at the game's officiating, left the coaching box and absorbed 2 technical fouls, ejecting him from the game. Without a head coach and star forward, Jamal Mashburn was now saddled with 4 fouls. The Wildcats bench was about to be tested. Its coaching bench, that is. Assistant coach Herb Sendek took the reins with a 15-point deficit. The Tech lead expanded to 20 points before the Cats staged an unforgettable rally.
With the long rebound, passes up to Farmer. Farmer going for the basket, lays it up and in. Open is Dale Brown. He missed it. Rebounded by Tech. Stolen and put in by Brown. Back over the head shot. Brown missed a start to begin the second half. Comes into Mackey. Taken away from him by Dale Brown. He runs down, goes under, lays it in. Big play by Dale Brown there. 65-53. Tech might gives it to Dale Brown. He tries a three. Got it.
With 44 seconds left on the clock, Brian Hill fouled John Pelfrey, giving Kentucky a chance to cut the lead to 2. Pelfrey scored, and given another minute of play, Kentucky may have won. But the game doesn't work that way. The Cats left with a 1-point loss, but new respect for its assistant coaches. 2 days before Christmas, Kentucky traveled to Cincinnati's Riverfront Coliseum to play Ohio University.
To the basket here. Stolen by Woods, who puts it in. Here's a takeoff play, and it is down underneath, open and good.
The Bobcats played Kentucky tough in the first stanza and almost went into the lead at halftime.
Feldhaus hits a three. 2 seconds to go. And there's the end of the first half. Ohio U, and a good save, but it's intercepted by Feldhaus. He lays it in, and he's fouled. Here's a takeoff by Mashburn, wide open. He stuffs it.
The Cats held on, led by Jamal Mashburn's 23 points.
The moment the ball went up, we can't play any better than that. That we played really well tonight. That's an outstanding basketball team that executes well, and it was great for us to play against that style of play.
If Kentucky fans look past Ohio U, it's understandable. On December 28th, their Cats would play in a rivalry that brings the blood of the entire state to a rolling boil. Louisville's Cardinals were coming to town, and both teams wanted to be king of the Commonwealth. John Pelfrey may have wanted it most.
Open out there for a three. Got it. Woods throws it over the press to Pelfrey. Pelfrey breaks down into the paint, puts it up. Good. Over the press. Gives it to Pelfrey for a three. Yes. 18 to 15 Kentucky. Paint out to Pelfrey. He's open for a three straight away. Good. Pelfrey is lighting up the night. And Kentucky leads 27 to 19.
Pelfrey scored 16 points in the first half. Jamal Mashburn added 13.
Intercepted by Pelfrey. Heading for the other end. Gives it off to Mashburn. Wants the timeout. Brown in backcourt. Underneath the Mashburn. Open. He stuffs it in.
Alert, sticky defense gave the Cats a 54 to 45 lead at the break.
And too long. Throws long for Feldhaus. Feldhaus gives it off. Brown's open for a three. Lets it go. Got it.
Dale Brown started Kentucky's second half charge.
Plays it in. Long pass. It'll be a run
Louisville
out
pulled to within 8 points with 9 minutes remaining on the clock.
It is no good.
Emotions ran high.
Oh boy, there's going to be a big technical we called in there on Brewer because Woods was up on his shoulders and he just threw him off and threw him off hard.
The technical helped swing the momentum back to Kentucky.
Here's a bounce pass on the high post. Mashburn driving for the basket, puts it up and in. Picks up his dribble, looks. They got Stone in. Here it's taken away from him by Woods. He gets it out to Feldhaus, goes under, stuff.
Jamal Mashburn scored 25 points for the Cats. But John Pelfrey's 26 led the Cats to a 103 to 89 victory. Kentucky's overall record against Louisville advanced to 16 wins, 8 losses.
I think we probably will learn a lot from this game because there's a lot of things we didn't do very well. But I think a lot of it has to do with the way Kentucky played against us. They played smart and they did what they tried to do. When we came out to defend the threes, they penetrated and they did a nice job with that.
The way we ran our offense, I don't think it could work any better. And our man-to-man defense tonight was as good as it can get.
John Pelfrey's 26 points against the Cardinals made it one of his best offensive efforts of the year. In high school, Pelfrey was Kentucky's Mr. Basketball in 1987. He led Paintsville High to the semifinals of the state tournament his senior year. After coming to Kentucky, Pelfrey became the emotional leader of the Cats. His grit and determination gave him the appropriate label, overachiever.
Individually, if you look at John, you try to break him down, you're not going to go away impressed with his credentials this year. But if you now take John Pelfrey and put him with the other 4 people and put him in a team environment, you'd be very impressed. And I live that every day with John Pelfrey. And every good practice, he has a large part in that. Every time the team plays well and the morale is high, he has a large part in that. So you can't look at John Pelfrey as an individual. It would be unfair to do that.
While not always at the top of the scoring stats, Kentucky counted on Pelfrey to charge up the Cats. His maturity and experience proved invaluable for the 91-92 team. While most of us spent New Year's Eve at parties, Kentucky's coaches and players spent the night on the practice floor, ringing in 1992 with a special water toast for the new year. And then it was back to practice.
We hung out the Midnight Madness Big Blue thing and said Big Blue New Year. We hung it out on the railing, and at midnight we had a water toast with the team, and it was really a great event. There's no better way to spend New Year's than to be on the practice floor. While everybody's out there making fools of themselves, we got a chance to play basketball.
On January 2nd, the Wildcats got a chance to test the results of their New Year's Eve practice when Notre Dame's Fighting Irish came to Rupp.
Drives against Howard. Rebound comes off to Taylor. Taylor's averaging 3 rebounds a game, and Kentucky's over.
John McLeod's team was having a tough year, but sprinted ahead of the Cats 16-8 before Richie Farmer torpedoed the Irish juggernaut, ending the first half with a remarkable 22 points.
Back doors and some drives to the basket. Richie for 3. Yes, sir. Woods. Ready. That's right by John Woods. And a beautiful behind-the-head pass. And Reddick was ready for it.
Richie Farmer, an Eastern Kentucky hero, led the Cats with 28 points, a career high as a Wildcat. This was not a new experience for Richie. He and his Clay County teammates won the 1987 Kentucky Boys High School Championship. He was the Sweet 16 MVP for both 1987 and 88, and was named Kentucky's Mr. Basketball in 1988. Off the court, you could find Richie hunting or fishing in Clay County, where you can also find Richie Farmer Boulevard. On the court, Farmer was a hard-working 6-foot guard, always a threat from the 3, and at the foul line, he was Kentucky's toughest player in the clutch. He was also Pitino's pick as his most improved player.
Out of all the guys where I've seen he started from and where he is today, I think he's made the greatest leaps in every area. And he's a terrific young man off the court and has a great sense of humor, and we're going to miss him.
Richie Farmer will be remembered as one of the most popular players ever to wear a Kentucky uniform. Kentucky opened conference play by welcoming South Carolina to the SEC. The Fighting Gamecocks led by 12 points before the Big Blue brought its full arsenal to bear.
And they've got a trap, and here's the pass intercepted with Feldhaus, gives it off to Mashburn, who lays it in.
Jamal for 3. Season high.
You know what he did different on that time, Ralph? He came.
Feldhaus gets it to Pelfrey.
Jamal Mashburn scored 33 points, helping the Kentucky Welcome Wagon leave Columbia with an 80-63 victory. Kentucky returned to Rupp Arena looking for conference victory number 2. The foe, Georgia's Bulldogs, and star guard Laterrell Green. Green came to Lexington following a 33-point night at UCLA. To win, the Cats would have to play tough defense. They did. Coach Pitino called on another Wildcat to step into the spotlight. Junior Brady came off the bench to help shut down the Bulldogs and score 15 points along the way.
Anyway, Farmer still moving with it, bounces off to Brady, puts it up and in, and his pass. He put up a right hand. Looking, gives it in the left corner. Brady wide open for a 3, got it.
Kentucky shot only 41%, but their defensive efforts paid off. The Cats won 78-66. Kentucky's relentless defense was a key to success all season. Game after game, opponents played ahead of the Cats in the first half. Then, unable to keep up with Kentucky's fatiguing defense, fell apart in the second.
You stopped their three, you stopped their motion, you played great man-to-man defense, and that's what we talked about. Because come tournament time, that's what's going to win it for you. Really proud of that effort tonight.
A broken nose suffered in practice limited Junior Brady's impact in the Cats' next game against Florida.
Then Rick Pitino. Florida on the steal. Who slams it home at 34 in the second.
The Gators gave Kentucky fits in the early going, holding the Cats to a 1-point lead at the break. But in the second half, Travis Ford would light Kentucky's fuse.
The ball picks it up, goes to Ford. Behind the back pass to Riddick, lays it in. Great pass from Travis Ford. 25. Travis Ford for three. And good off the drag for Ford. Look at this, 2 in a row for Travis Ford. Kusuma, who's back into the game, comes up with it. He loses it. Travis Ford dug it out. Look at that move around Brown. And the pass.
Ford had a UK career high 8 assists, jump-starting the Cats on their way to an 81-60 victory over Florida.
Shoulder press, go.
One day before Kentucky's battle with Vanderbilt, Rock Oliver, the Cats' strength coach, announced his departure from Pitino's staff for the sunshine of the NFL's Tampa Bay Buccaneers.
This is the only job that I know where you can be a strength coach for basketball and to not interview for a job, be offered a job in the NFL. You can't do that in North Carolina. You can't do it at Duke. You can do it here, and the reason you can do it here is because of Rick Pitino.
Oliver was a cornerstone in Rick Pitino's strength and conditioning program. His work had helped make the Wildcats one of the best conditioned teams in the country, another one of Pitino's keys to success. When Kentucky arrived at Memorial Gym in Nashville on January 15th, they met a hostile audience. Tough play from Commodore center Todd Milholland and guard Kevin Anglin led Vandy to a 38-33 halftime lead.
Recovers to Beth in backcourt. Right side to Anglin, open for a three. Write it down.
Anglin is now 22 out of 30.
Rick Pitino's halftime talk convinced Jamal Mashburn to turn in 15 points in the second half.
Dribbles it out into backcourt. Goes down into the paint. Whips it off to Mashburn. He puts a reverse layup in good. A little fancy dipsy little there. But it's 79. Pelfrey driving. He can't get through. He's still looking for help. Gets it to Mashburn. Mashburn breaks under. Puts it in. It's for a three. Doesn't go. Rebounded by Mashburn. He puts it back up and in. And he's fouled.
Kentucky beat Vandy 84-71. Pitino's well-rounded Cats faced a fired-up Eastern Kentucky team at home. Early in the first half, John Pelfrey took his place on the list of Kentucky's 1,000-point scorers.
To Brown to Pelfrey, lays it in. So Pelfrey now has 1,001 points as a Kentucky Wildcat, the 38th member of that club.
Andre Riddick picked this game to take his turn in the limelight. The Colonel offense ran headlong into the long arms of Riddick. Andre knocked down a career record 7 shots.
Riddick blocks it. Woods picks up the loose ball. It's 2-on-1. Here goes Woods wide open. Got it.
Eastern coach Mike Polio left Lexington with an 85-55 loss to the Cats. Kentucky, now ranked 8th in the nation, next played Tennessee in Knoxville's Thompson Bowling Arena.
There's the toss, and Curry gets the tap, and Tennessee comes on the attack to the right, and here goes the three. Got it.
The Vols were ready to heat up this old rival. Allen Houston picked this night to break out of a slump and score a season record 36 points. But the Cats did not play dead.
Feldhouse breaking down in the paint, gives to Mashburn. Open, he stuck it. Nice assist. Darren Feldhouse. He has the ball slapped down by Mashburn. They go to the floor. Mashburn gets it to Pelfrey on a nice save. Throws long to Feldhouse. Feldhouse to Travis Ford. Back to Feldhouse. Good.
23 points from Darren Feldhouse and 28 from Mashburn could not stop a 107-85 Big Orange pounding of Kentucky. Kentucky's revenge will have to wait until seniors night. Darren Feldhouse is a Maysville, Kentucky native from a basketball family. His father played for Adolph Rupp. 2 older brothers played for Eastern and Moorhead. Darren flourished under the Pitino system and built a reputation as one of the best sixth men in the country.
On the basketball team next year, who are we going to have the most difficult time replacing without question? It'll probably be Darren Feldhaus. He can give us the biggest lift physically. He's someone that can go inside and take smaller forwards inside and score. He can go outside against power forwards. He gives you good defensive effort. He runs the lanes well, and he's someone that night in and night out is going to be there for you.
Darren Feldhaus was an integral part of the 91-92 plan. Pitino could go to the bench quickly and lose no steam. Kentucky fans and the media had long awaited Kentucky's next game, a big East-West SEC matchup with 8th-ranked Arkansas.
It's taken one all year. Here's Woods driving for the basket, deals it off to Riddick and stuff. Nice move and a two-hand stuff by Andre Riddick. Gets it out to Feldhaus. He moves into the lane, puts it up good. Going down inside. They were going to call a holding foul on Mashburn, I believe.
Jamal Mashburn had a nightmare game, picking up 3 fouls in the span of 2 minutes midway through the first half. Mashburn was held to just 4 points in 21 minutes of action. Darren Feldhaus and John Pelfrey scored 22 points apiece as the Cats turned in one of their best 3-point nights of the season, but could not stop the Hogs' fast break runouts, losing 105-88. Arkansas was king of the conference, at least for now. Kentucky, now 4-2 in the SEC, next met Ole Miss at home.
Farmer for a 3 on the inbounds, good. Driving, they go down inside to Harvell. Farmer goes in, slaps it loose, tries to get it to Pelfrey. He picks it up, behind the back dribble. Pelfrey down the middle, throws to Woods. Woods gives it to Pelfrey, open, lays it in.
Jamal Mashburn returned to championship form, scoring 24 points. Sean Woods dealt out 9 assists.
Driving for the basket, gives it off to Mashburn, got it. That was a nice assist to Sean Woods there.
And Andre Riddick tried an innovative solution to his problem at the foul stripe.
Just this game, using that one-handed shot. So here's Andre trying number 2, that one-handed shot. Got it! Standing ovation. Andre Riddick made a free throw.
Riddick and Kentucky regained some pride. Pride beating the Rebels 96-78. Kentucky's hot rivalry with LSU picked up on February 2nd in Baton Rouge. By double teaming, the Cats managed to contain the Tigers' gargantuan center, Shaquille O'Neal. In fact, the Shack was limited to only 1 basket during the first 15 minutes of play.
Right back to Farmer. Now they drive in, LSU zoning. Here's Farmer open from the right side for 3, in and out. O'Neal comes off the board with it. The forward for a 3. No good.
Kentucky, however, could not find the basket either, shooting only 27.5% and losing 74-53.
Two big scores from the outside cranked up.
Trying to raise the Cats' intensity, Rick Pitino tried an innovative tactic against Auburn's Tigers. He let the team pick the defense. It worked.
Jamal Mashburn is Swinson.
Kentucky's press. Martinez is after Swinson, who gets it off to Person. He puts down a dribble. Being tracked, and there's a loose ball, and Feldhaus gets it. Gives to Woods. He drives under, and he's fouled. It'll be an intentional foul. Auburn in zone for the first time. Here's a floater inside to Mashburn. He's got it. He dunks it. Back out to Woods. Now he gives to Mashburn. It goes in and lays it in.
What a game he is having.
He is. They can't handle him in there.
Mashburn owned the first half.
Going to Mashburn.
Jamel Martinez the second.
Basket now, so he gives to Martinez. Martinez fakes, goes in, lays it in.
Boy, he had made some super moves on the inside.
Yes, that's 9 points for him. Here goes Travis Ford, bounces off Martinez wide open. Great assist.
Kentucky
to
won,
Travis Ford.
85-67. At home against Alabama, Rick Pitino once again donned plaid against always plaid-clad Wimp Sanderson.
Better looking than his, isn't it?
13 all, score tied for the 4th time. Press is on. Pelfrey intercepts it. Gives to Feldhaus, wide open for a 3. Bullseye. Press is on by Kentucky. And it's intercepted by Mashburn. Gives it to Ford. He's open for a 3. Lets it fly. Good.
Tough Kentucky defense rolled the Tide back in, and the talents of Jamel Martinez began to gel in the second half.
Rebounded by Martinez. He put it in.
The people here tonight are seeing the kind of moves that Jimmy made against Auburn.
Rebounded
The
by
Miami
Martinez.
sophomore scored 26 points. Kentucky won 107-83.
All right, now we got up to that 33-minute mark. They ran into the wall. We got a lot of good shots. So if you get down the ball quickly, how you can take it out. That was great defensive effort. Then when you needed it, and the numbered break got you when they got tired, they stopped running. Now, do we have a center or what now? We have one of the best. Great job tonight. Great defensive intensity. Way to keep the offense going the whole night. Great job. Okay, now remember what's been our key. It's been practice.
That's right, baby.
Now look, Ralph Willard, we got to take those people and we got to crush them. We have no sympathy for the Hilltoppers. We got to crush them.
Let's go. 1, 2, 3. Hard work.
Coach Pitino put his old friendship with Ralph Willard on hold February 16th when Willard's Western Kentucky Hilltoppers came to Rupp Arena.
Working on forward.
Darren
driving down.
Feldhaus stepped off the bench to score 18 points for Kentucky.
Gets to it. Running the other way with it. Drives under. Stuffs it. Woods running 3-on-3 to Mashburn. He's open for a three, and he went up for a shot. The ball slips off his hands, over his head, and out of bounds.
Both Willard and Pitino were disappointed in their team's ragged play. Nonetheless, Kentucky earned another victory, winning by 10. Next, against Mississippi State in Starkville, Pitino gave his sixth man a starting position. Feldhaus responded by leading the Cats again with 18 points.
He looks, bounces into Feldhaus. He's double-teamed, turns, puts it up and in anyway, and he's fouled.
Just a good, strong move by Darren Feldhaus.
That was just a power move, Ralph. You're right. Out to Evans, and he is shaking and baking now, and he falls down. They go to the floor, and there's a loose ball picked up by Woods. Woods running. It's 3-on-1. Give it up, Woods. He does to Pelfrey. Pelfrey puts it in, and he's fouled.
The foul-ridden Cats just got by State, 89-84. 4 days later, the Cats were on the road again, this time for a rematch with Georgia. The Bulldogs led throughout the first half, but two young Cats picked up the torch in the second.
Here's Mashburn wide open for a three. It did go in. And Kentucky has its first lead on top 54-53.
Jamal Mashburn scored 26 points.
Comes up with a loose ball, lays it in.
Dale Brown shot perfection, hitting 7 of 7 twos and 4 of 4 threes, leaving Athens in ruins. The Cats' 84-73 win gave Kentucky its 37th 20-win season in school history. South Carolina came to Rupp on February 26th and had the game tied early until Richie Farmer broke it loose.
And that ties it up at 8. Kentucky down quickly. Farmer for three. Yes, sir. Farmer has as many points now as he had in the whole game down in Columbia. 11-8 Kentucky intercepted. Pelfrey for a three. Got it.
Darren Feldhaus would shine again, scoring 19 points in Kentucky's easy second victory over the Gamecocks.
We're trying to give you a fair game, so you guys control your teams. Don't talk to each other. You remember that?
I remember that.
All right.
Have a good one, guys. Enjoy, huh?
Tired enough of your film. Tell our rest of them.
Next, against Vanderbilt, Jamal Mashburn increased his court intensity to score a season-high 34 points.
Feldhaus turned, loses the ball, picked up, put up, and good by Mashburn on a back-over-the-shoulder reverse layup. Great shot by Mashburn. Cross court to Mashburn.
Kentucky pounded Vandy 80-56 and clinched the first Eastern Division title of the newly realigned Southeastern Conference. Now, just 2 games sat between Kentucky and the SEC tournament. The Cats were on fire, winning 7 games straight. But the Cats' win streak ended in Gainesville, Florida. Jamal Mashburn had an off night, and the Gators dominated the boards with a 42-27 rebounding margin. After losing 79-62, Coach Pitino made better rebounding a priority on the Cats' list of tournament preparation. Rick Pitino and his Wildcats had one more regular season game before heading to Birmingham for the SEC tournament, the Tennessee Vols and Senior Night. This is always a memorable occasion at UK, but this year would be extraordinary. Kentucky's 4 seniors, Woods, Farmer, Pelfrey, and Feldhaus, had won our hearts like perhaps no other team in Kentucky history, and now they would play at Rupp Arena for the final time. Before the game, the home crowd said goodbye to its beloved seniors and sang one last time the traditional tearful melody, My Old Kentucky Home.
No more
The emotions sat heavy in the air that night, but the memory of Kentucky's defeat in Knoxville earlier in the season was not forgotten.
Against Riddick for the University of Kentucky, John Clarkidis preparing to toss the basketball up in the air. Full house, more than a sellout here at Rupp Arena. Tickets going for over 400. And to call it, here's Haywood Ledford.
There's the toss, and Tennessee gets the tap, and he goes to Richie Farmer. He goes for the basket, lays it up and in. Price puts down a dribble, now throws it up. Farmer picks it off. Richie Farmer pulls up, wants to shoot, doesn't. Mashburn for a three. It's there. 26-20, Cats lead it. Here's a steal by Dale Brown. Took it away from Price, puts it in. Brown was going to make sure that one didn't come out. He stuffed it with two hands. He can really jump. Emotions ran a little too high at times. Just before the break, Sean Woods and Tennessee's Jay Price were ejected for flagrant foul. The Vols, as much as any other SEC team, were up for Kentucky and stayed close. Rivers heads in for the basket, passes wide open to Houston. Oh, a little fancy-dancy back over the head, two-hand dunk. 8:09 to play in the first. Here's a takeoff play to Wiseman. Intercepted by Mashburn. Mashburn brings it down. Gives to Martinez. Back to Mashburn. Lays it in. Mashburn's open for a three. Lets it go. Got it. Jamal Mashburn snapped a one-game slump against Florida and let loose a 30-point avalanche against Tennessee. Seniors Richie Farmer and Darren Feldhaus scored in double figures. The Cats gave the home crowd a 99-88 Rupp Arena swan song.
You know, it took a lot to get 23 wins this season. I've never had a season before that went by this fast. Never in my life. Normally it's a grind, you reach highs and lows. Not once this season did I feel it was a low or a grind. And that's because you played hard the whole season long. Now we've got to pick it up a notch. To go from regular season to postseason play, it's not picking up the offense, it's picking up the defense. We got a lot to work on this week on our rebound. Everybody has got to start to get to that backboard. I'm really proud of that number, okay? That is a great, great season. All right. Nothing like solitude in senior night, Sean. 1, 2, 3. Hard work.
A record crowd of 24,332 came to Rupp Arena for the final regular season game between Kentucky and Tennessee. And most of them stayed to pay a very special tribute to a man whose voice has become synonymous with the University of Kentucky basketball glory. A man whose career as a University of Kentucky Wildcat voice began right here in Memorial Coliseum. Your companion on the radio for 39 years, and my partner for 20, Haywood Ledford. Haywood had announced in the summer of '91 that this would be his last season as the football and basketball voice of Kentucky. Throughout the season, scores of fans, coaches, and members of the media said their goodbyes to perhaps the best play-by-play man ever. The voice of Haywood Ledford would live on for the Kentucky fans for more games than expected. For Rick Pitino had promised the Kentucky fans early on in the year that he wanted to keep Haywood Ledford around as long as possible. And he did it by playing in the Southeastern Conference Tournament and going to the East Region in Philadelphia.
The Wildcats and a legion of Big Blue fans landed in Birmingham, Alabama for the SEC Tournament, their first in 2 years. Kentucky was ranked 9th in the country. Alabama, LSU, Arkansas, all ranked in the top 25.
Back to Elmer.
Kentucky's first tournament opponent was Vanderbilt.
Pelfrey knocks it away, goes and gets the loose ball. He got fouled, but got away with it, and he stuffs it. Hey, there's his dunk that counts. Forward for a three. Yes. Gets it back out to Anglin. He wanted to shoot the three, but Mashburn's on him, so he drives by him, puts it up coming in. It is good, and he's fouled.
With the Cats up by only 6 points, with 11:34 remaining, Pitino gave Jamal Mashburn a tongue lashing and a seat on the bench. Mash got the message. When he re-entered the game, he took a saber to Vandy.
Here's Mashburn across the lane, puts it up and in. Good shot. Oh, that was a masterful move. He puts up a three, they don't come get him, and he hits it. Oh, Haywood, what ease he shot that ball. 55-43. Mashburn now is beginning to kind of take over the game. Mashburn gets it, goes to the basket, puts it up and in, and he's fouled.
Mashburn ended the game with 24 points, 10 rebounds, and a spot in the Kentucky record book as the highest-scoring sophomore in history, passing Rex Chapman. Kentucky advanced to play LSU in the semifinals, but it was a different LSU team from the one that had beaten Kentucky in Baton Rouge. Because of a bench-clearing fight against Tennessee the night before, LSU's Rupp Trophy winner, Shaquille O'Neal, was suspended for the Kentucky game. But LSU was tough with or without O'Neal, and the Cats would not waltz into the championship game. Coach Pitino saw danger right away. The LSU players now had a wounded Tiger mentality. and would use the emotion to their advantage.
By Boudreau.
Trying to neutralize the keyed-up Tigers, Kentucky jumped on its new inside weakness.
Gives it to Woods. Drives under. Deals it off in there. Stuffed by Mashburn. A beautiful assist to Sean Woods. Ward brings it back across the line. He goes in, gives to Mashburn. Open. He stuffs it. He's fouled. Pelfrey looks at the clock. He tries to drive. Can't get through. He picks up the ball. Now he's going to put a 17-footer up and in. 41-40. There's the horn. The first half is over, and Pelfrey is out of his shoe and sitting.
The Cats began the second half with a 1-point lead. Senior John Pelfrey came out of the second half with shoes on both feet, scoring inside and out to lead the Cats with 17 points. Jamel Martinez, Jamal Mashburn, and Richie Farmer all scored in double figures. When the horn sounded, Kentucky had beaten the Tigers 80-74 and advanced to meet not Arkansas as expected, but Alabama. The Crimson Tide had scored a spectacular 1-point upset over the Razorbacks to move into the championship game. Alabama had won the SEC tournament 3 years in a row, now welcomed the Kentucky Wildcats back into the fight for the league championship.
Here's Mashburn going for the basket, drives under, lays it in. 6-5. Here's another long throw out. Woods is back. Robinson lays it up and in.
The first half lead changed 9 times as Alabama featured 3 super talents: James Robinson, Latrell Sprewell, and Robert Horry.
Trying to work on Farmer. 101 pulls up for a 3. Got it. Robinson wants to go one-on-one. Here he goes. Very fancy. Puts up a 3. Yes.
Robinson would damage Kentucky most, hitting back-to-back 3-pointers to give Alabama a halftime lead, 32-29. Shortly into the second half, the Tide ran out of gas, and Kentucky went on a blistering scoring drive.
It's a loose ball, and it's still a loose ball. Feldhouse gets it to Mashburn. Mashburn now gives it out to Woods. Woods driving, pulls up, 8-footer, no give, tapped in by Martinez. His first field goal, and it's 42-40 Kentucky. And Dale Brown passes underneath to Mashburn. He goes up, got it. That was a great assist from Dale Brown there. Mashburn double team, gets it out to Ford. Ford for a long 3. Good. Way out there. Sprewell. Intercepted by Farmer. He's in a foot race to the other end. Lays it up left-handed and got it. 76-52, and Kentucky is blowing Alabama away.
In the closing minutes, with Kentucky up by 26 points, the stifled emotions of the years past came swelling to the surface.
And you can smell the roses here in Birmingham, Alabama. Kentucky's returned to tournament play, and the Cats have won it all. Martinez dribbling at long range. The Kentucky bench, all the players standing. Watch them sail away with a victory. Here goes Ford, dishes it off. Timberlake lays it in. And it's all Kentucky. And Kentucky's coming down to the wire in this SEC tournament. Here's a pass off, and Moore lays it in, but far too little and too late. 11 seconds left. Travis Ford, it's 8, it's 7, it's 6, it's 5, it's 4, it's 3. Martinez underneath stuffs it, and that will be it. And Kentucky wins this one 80-54 and takes the big trophy home to Lexington, home to Kentucky from this 1992 Southeastern Conference tournament. Absent for the last 2 years, the Cats have roared back with a vengeance.
Now the news had spread to the rest of the South. The Kentucky Wildcats were back. Jamal Mashburn was voted the tournament MVP, but in typically classy fashion, dedicated his game to the seniors, saying he couldn't give them any presents, but could help them get an SEC crown. Kentucky's glorious SEC tournament helped them land a second seed in the NCAA Tournament East region. The Cats would play in Worcester, Massachusetts. Their first-round opponent was Old Dominion. The excitement and emotion of the NCAA tournament gives any team a chance to win, and many highly ranked teams do not make it out of the first round. Kentucky did not want to be on that list.
We don't play well when we're overconfident. And it's happened, I think Dick Vitale came in and told our team that they were going to win by 30 or 40 points against Pittsburgh. It was our poorest game of the season. Fortunately, he's not in this region. And we are very much on edge, very nervous, and I think we'll play well.
Gives it to Woods running by, and he's still moving 2-on-1. He goes in there for it himself and hits it.
The uptight Cats showed only 33% in the first half and led by only 2 points at the break.
And gives it to Pelfrey deep. Pelfrey dribbles in, drives for the basket. Nice move, lays it in, and he's fouled on the shot. Larkin has picked up his dribble. He's looking for somebody and finally gets it off. Pelfrey knocks it down, intercepts it, goes under. Open stop.
3 consecutive games, John Sky Pelfrey has done it.
Rick Pitino drew on his tournament experience to coach his Cats into action. Team leader John Pelfrey sparked a Kentucky run. Pelfrey scored 22 points to lead Kentucky to a laborious first-round victory. Each of Kentucky's 4 seniors also scored in double figures. 2 days later, Kentucky played Johnny Orr's Iowa State Cyclones. The Cats raced out to a 5-0 lead.
Breaks into the paint. Richie Farmer open. He's got it. 11-10. Kentucky by 1. Long pass intercepted by Mashburn. As they try to go to the other end, Mashburn picked up, loops it to Pelfrey's open for a 3, lets it fly, got it. And Johnny Orr does a nice toe dance in the coach's box in front of the Iowa State bench. Here's a long
Iowa State stayed close.
Thigpen, he puts it in, and he's fouled by Brown. But it's halftime, and
Kentucky led at the break 57-49 and had shot 60% from the field. But the Cats were in foul trouble, and Iowa State had been shooting 68%. The Kentucky seniors, knowing that any loss now would be their last game, turned in marvelous performances.
Surrounded him, he puts it in anyway.
John Pelfrey scored 20, Sean Woods 18. Free throws by Woods and Pelfrey put the game out of reach. The still jittery Cats held on and advanced to the Sweet 16.
And they move to the Sweet 16.
I have to tell you, this Iowa State team is one of the best teams we've played all year. They are outstanding, not good, outstanding.
Now the tournament frenzy moved to the Spectrum in Philadelphia. Massachusetts had beaten Syracuse to advance into the Sweet 16 to meet Kentucky. John Calipari's postseason Minutemen were vastly different from the ones that Kentucky had beaten in December, but the Cats were different too. Kentucky roared out to hit 8 unanswered points. Kentucky played inside, ignoring the usually familiar three-point line.
The basket hooks it, no good. Caught by Riddick.
His elbow.
Riddick's dunk gave Kentucky a 20-point lead with 5:24 left in the first half. But UMass made a charge.
By Barbie, and UMass is making its move. There's the alley-oop, and it's stuffed by Herndon. Comes in, here's just long desperation. He got it! A 3!
Jim McCoy's incredible 70-foot shot at the halftime buzzer closed the gap to 8 and shifted the momentum to Massachusetts.
UMass has been since early in this game. Here is Brown.
UMass had erased all but 2 of Kentucky's earlier 21-point lead, and UMass coach John Calipari was tagged with a technical foul with 5:47 to play.
John Pelfrey outside, going down inside Feldhaus, he puts it in. Nice pass from Pelfrey. Pelfrey, here's Feldhaus open, he's got it.
Little backdoor play.
The Minutemen went cold, and Kentucky ended their season.
Off to Mashburn. Mashburn has it slapped away. Put in by Dale Brown. The game is over, and Kentucky wins it 87-77 and moves on to the finals of this Eastern region.
The 91-92 Wildcats became the 21st Kentucky team to move into the Final Eight. Even the bluest bloods gave Kentucky only a long shot to beat the awesome defending champion, Duke Blue Devils. Their names were all familiar to college fans: Leitner, Hill, Hurley. They had won 31 games and lost only 2, both away. Big 6'11" Christian Leitner won the tip, but Kentucky's John Pelfrey scored the first basket, a 21-foot three-pointer.
Back to the 2-3. Knocked down by Martinez as they tried to go inside.
Martino's defense, a surprise 3-2 zone. It shook Duke up.
Got it.
With 14:18 left in the first half, Kentucky led 20-12. Fans watching at home and listening to the UK network now felt the game at least would not be the predicted blowout.
Good. Out to Woods on the right wing. Woods shifts and goes, puts a jumper in the air. Got it. Here's Mashburn, wants to shoot the 3. Martinez will wide open. Got it.
But Duke's super team regained composure. The Blue Devils using Leitner and Grant Hill inside, Hurley and Thomas Hill outside. For Kentucky, Jamal Mashburn escaped much of Duke's defensive plans to play a tremendous game.
Gets it back with a jumper. Good. They're not going to call any fouls on Duke.
At halftime, Duke led by 5, 50-45. Kentucky had stayed close to Duke, but foul trouble started early. The Cats' spiritual leader, John Pelfrey, was benched early with 2 fouls. Kentucky began the second half showing fouls on each of its starters. Somehow, the Cats stayed close.
For Kentucky, comes the other way with it, leaves it off to Woods. Woods up the middle, still going, spins his way into the paint, puts it up and in. And here is Brown open, takes it, lays it in. Dale Brown broke wide open as they were trying to really double team Mashburn. 67-57 Kentucky, intercepted by Feldhaus. Gives it out to Woods. Woods to Mashburn, goes up for a three straight away, got it. To Mashburn for a three, yes, 67-63. Kentucky's cut the lead to 4. Davis going down inside the lane.
With 8:06 left in the second half, Duke led 75-68. Christian Laettner's controversial step on Aminu Timberlake cost Duke a technical. Following Richie Farmer's shot, a Hurley drive, and 2 Laettner free throws, Duke was up by 10, 79-69.
Already gives it to Brown coming in. He puts it up and in, and he's fouled. There's a fine assist from Mashburn. He drew the double team and dished it off to a teammate. And back towards Mashburn. Drives into the paint. Fall away jumper. Good. He is some kind of hoss. 81-74. Kentucky still in it. Duke with the ball. Kentucky the press. Too long. 5-second count on Laettner. Kentucky gets the ball for its own end of the court. Pelfrey gives to Feldhaus. He's open. Didn't take it. Woods.
John Woods' rare three-pointer with 5:25 left on the clock tied the score at 81. Elation swept the Kentucky fans at the Spectrum. Across Kentucky, fans could not believe what the Cats were doing. The team Digger Phelps had called genetic misfits was tied with the mighty Duke Blue Devils.
Hill at the line.
2 Thomas Hill free throws.
Got it.
Mashburn inside.
To the basket. Puts it up. Got it.
2 Hurley free throws. A Darren Feldhaus free throw. A Thomas Hill 12-footer. 2 heavyweights exchanging their best punch. Duke 87, Kentucky 84. Dale Brown's 3 pushed Kentucky ahead for the first time in the second half. Brian Davis tied the game again at 89. Sean Woods, normally weak at the stripe, nailed 2 free throws. Christian Laettner returned it. Again, the game was tied. Thomas Hill pushed Duke up by 2 with 1:02 left on the clock.
Puts up a jumper. It's good. Pelfrey guarded
Kentucky
closely.
responds.
Angles right. Goes to the baseline. Gets under the basket. Deflected. Feldhaus puts it up and in. And it's 93-93.
The game ended with the score tied 93-all. This thrilling game went to overtime. Kentucky, in deep foul trouble, would take on the nation's best for 5 more minutes of play. John Pelfrey, on fire in the tournament, played an extraordinary game and drew first blood for Kentucky as overtime began. Laettner would answer with a perfect night. He shot 100% from the field, 100% from the free throw line, and scored 31 points.
Oh, it's a big shot. So Kentucky comes down. 100-98 Duke. Wood. Pelfrey. Pelfrey goes to Mashburn. Mashburn goes for the basket, puts it up and in, and he fouled.
Mashburn put Kentucky up 101-100. Seconds later, he fouled out.
They're just trying to set a screen to get it in. It comes into Hurley. Hurley working it down. Throws long to Laettner. Laettner into the paint is slapped out of his hands, and they're going to call a foul. Mashburn. That's 5. That's all. Goes out of there with 28 points and a big night.
Christian Laettner's free throws returned the lead to Duke, 102-101.
Good. Kentucky has 3 guards and 2 forwards. Comes into Woods. Woods with Hurley on him. Is on the move. Here he goes down into the paint. His shot is up. Good! 2 seconds. John Woods backs it in off the glass. 103-102. 2 seconds left. John Woods just took it, drove into the paint, tattooed it up on the board and back into the net. And the Cats lead by 1.
Only one other shot would be remembered more than Woods' bank over Laettner's head.
Other end, Ralph, and no matter who leaves, this will be one of the great ones in NCAA tournament history.
With 2.1 seconds left on the clock, Duke down by 1. Grant Hill threw an inbounds pass to Christian Laettner that will be forever etched into the memory of Kentucky fans.
Laettner way back at that end. So is Hurley. And Kentucky. Here's the long pass, and Laettner's got it. Puts down a dribble, turns with a jumper. Good! And Duke wins it 104-103. That is why they're number 1.
Well, heartbreak for Kentucky. A team that fought it hard out. But give Duke credit, it did what it had to do.
The game had been stunning. It was the most memorable game of the tournament. The national press could not stop talking about it, placing it among the greatest games ever played in the NCAA tournament.
What a tremendous, tremendous effort. And it wasn't a game that anybody lost. Whoever had the ball last won. And we were really lucky, and we beat a very determined and a great basketball team.
Go Big Blue! Go Big Blue! Go Big Blue! Go Big Blue!
When the Wildcats arrived at Bluegrass Field the next morning, they were met by thousands of fans, grateful to the team that had given them such a thrilling ride. Following the season, over 10,000 fans attended an awards ceremony to honor the Kentucky team.
It's a real pleasure being here tonight. I was in Minneapolis last night, where all the stories this morning said Duke won the national championship by defeating Michigan. But Duke won the national championship a week earlier in Philadelphia.
The trophy presentations proceeded as expected. No one was too surprised when Jamal Mashburn received the MVP award. He was the leading scorer in the entire NCAA tournament with a 24 points per game average. But the seniors were stunned when Athletics Director C.M. Newton unveiled the ultimate honor upon them.
As Director of Athletics at my university, at the University of Kentucky, and for your outstanding contributions to the University of Kentucky basketball, please look at the ceiling at the
The four seniors and the 91-92 Wildcats had all but washed away the memory of probation. The Kentucky basketball program, under the direction of Athletics Director C.M. Newton and Coach Rick Pitino, had rebuilt to a model program, a winning program.
It's never going to get better than this basketball team. It could get bigger. We could go further, but it will never get better. It can't get better because of what this team does night in and night out. Thank you very much.
The Wildcats have climbed from the bottom to the top and will be in the hunt for a long time to come. This was my last year as the announcer for Kentucky's games. For 39 wonderful years behind the microphone for Kentucky's games, this team made my final year my favorite. I hope it did as much for you. I'm Kaywood Button.
Oh, I love him dearly. As siblings, you always grow up with those little scraps. But he was always a good brother. Well, our parents were always proud of us, no matter what we did, and taught us to be gracious and responsible and to have goals.
Kaywood and I met at center. We did both pledge the same fraternity. He's a perfect gentleman and has always been a perfect gentleman. If you can't get along with Kaywood, you can't get along with anybody.
I really accidentally got into broadcasting after I was out of college.
And, of course, our parents thought he had joined the circus after they had accepted the idea that he wasn't going to play records the rest of his life. They were very supportive and said, go for it.
I knew not very long after I got into it that it was something I was going to give a real shot and see what I could do with it.
My memories of Kaywood Ledford are very distinct. He never was late for broadcasts. He never seemed to be flustered. He worked well with other people, and that's something you can't say about a lot of people in broadcasting. He's truly a stand-up guy, and he was the standard by which I think other performers were and are measured.
Quadrangle after that, but it's the dancer. And here comes Hill Rise whipping and driving. The little horse and the big horse. And we're coming to the wire. And it is Northern Dancer that wins it by an X.
And you met the champion, Floyd Patterson, I understand.
Floyd came by to see me. We had a little talk, but
It was a friendly talk, but if possible, I would like to fight him one of these days. So he didn't look at me right, so I didn't look at him right. We were friendly.
Muhammad Ali was always a great joy to interview.
As a matter of fact, Liston was at ringside after my fight, and I told Liston, I said, Liston, I want you next, and you must fall in 8. And he said, you will not go as long as Patterson. So I told him, if you talk too much, I'll have to cut it to 6.
All right, and here's a question.
I'll have a poem on him in the next few days.
Okay, we'll be waiting for it.
Coach Rupp was a great interview.
Oh, why did you bring that up? We are in trouble now. We got 4 straight games on the road, and I just want to tell you one thing, K. Wood. They are going to be rugged.
I had the good fortune of following 2 national championship teams. They were 20 years apart. The first one was in 1958, a team called the Fiddlin' Five.
84 to 72, 3 seconds, 2. Baylor shoots, it's no good. There's the game. Kentucky's Wildcats win a 4th NCAA championship.
And then 20 years later, in 1978, when they had a marvelous team that went to the Final Four in St. Louis, was favored to win it all, and did.
Back to Macy, back to Roby. Roby down to James Lee. Lee driving with it, goes under, dunk. There's the last shot. It is over. Kentucky wins it. 94-88. So after 20 years, the Kentucky Wildcats win the NCAA championship. 94-88 over the Duke Blue Devils.
Back deep for the Kentucky Wildcats, who will receive and move to the right side of your radio dial. We have
Jones down on one knee. There's a snap. They're going to try it, and it is long enough. It is, I believe, yes, I think he got it good. So Joey Worley has just tied a Kentucky field goal distance record, and he has just put the Cats in front for the first time tonight.
back to Higgs, swinging off to the right side, turns it back. He's out to the 25, the 30, the 35, the 40. He's at the 45. He's at the 40 of Rutgers. He's at the 30. Cuts it back to midfield at the 15, the 10, the 5. Touchdown, Mark Higgs! Kentucky has lost so many close games at the buzzer. And that's where I think Bill Curry is going to put a new mental attitude into this team, because they did come back and win one at the buzzer against Georgia last year.
Ball game. There's the snap. It is down, and the kick is on its way, and it is good. And Kentucky moves ahead 26-24 with 7 seconds to go.
Pitino has brought a lot of fun to Kentucky basketball, and he brought it at a time when the fans really needed that kind of a lift.
Big rebound by Richie Farmer. Kentucky's won it. It's Rick Pitino's first win over the Indiana Hoosiers. Pelfrey intercepts, gives it to Feldhouse open. Stuff. Martinez underneath, stuffs it, and that will be it. And Kentucky wins this one 80-54.
100-98 Duke. Woods, Pelfrey. Pelfrey goes to Mashburn. Mashburn goes for the basket, puts it up and in, and he's fouled.
I think that's the reason why he's loved so much by all Kentuckians, is because of the fact that they see in him what they would like to be themselves, and that is a person who understands how to project the thrill of victory and the agony of defeat, and yet still walks among the common man from day to day.
2 forwards, comes into Woods. Woods with Hurley on him, is on the move. Here he goes, down into the paint. His shot is up. Good! 2 seconds. Sean Woods just took it, drove into the paint, tattooed it up on the board and back into the net. And the Cats lead by 1.
Gabriel?
Yes.
This is Blind Betty.
Yeah, buddy.
I've always said that you are the window that the blind people can see a basketball or a football game, too.
That's mighty nice of you, buddy. Appreciate it.
Hey, Wood, I just want to say you're the greatest.
I just want to say in closing, good luck to the Cats, and I'm going to miss you next year, Kaywood. God bless you.
Thank you.
And I think when I leave Kentucky, Kaywood, I'm going to always remember the 3 years I spent with you. It's going to be very precious to me.
Well, it's precious to me, too, my friend.
Kaywood is more than the voice. He's kind of the heart, really, and we really are going to miss him.
After being here at the university for 4 years and getting to know him and becoming personal friends with Kaywood, I can honestly say that he is still my hero. I'd just like to say to Kaywood, thanks for all the great memories and all the great times that you've been there, and we'll never forget you, and we love you.
Kaywood, I just want to say this. You're a stand-up guy, and on a personal and professional basis, you're the best.
Perhaps Adolph Rupp said it best. I'd like to borrow his words for my goodbye that he used in his goodbye speech, and the words are these. For those of you who have gone down the glory road with me, my eternal thanks. From Philadelphia, Kaywood Ledford saying goodbye and God bless you. And this is the University of Kentucky Basketball Network.